The International Court of Justice is set to rule on South Africa's request for it to order Israel to end its military operations in Rafah in southern Gaza and to ensure unhindered access to humanitarian aid. South Africa accuses Israel of carrying out genocide against Palestinians. In January, the UN's highest court issued provisional measures ordering Israel to do everything possible to prevent acts that could amount to genocide. South Africa says Israel ignored the ruling. Let's bring in Mohamad Elmasry. He's with us now. He's a political analyst and professor of media studies at Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. And Mohamad, so that's the thing, isn't it? How important is this announcement? How important will it be, given that Israel will just ignore it?
Well, yeah, there was already an indication just yesterday that Israel is going to ignore whatever the court says. Avi Hyman is a spokesperson for the government, and he said no power on earth will stop Israel from going after Hamas in Gaza. And so that was a pretty defiant statement, right, on the eve of this expected injunction. I think there are some different possibilities for the ICJ here. They may rule that Israel must halt its operations in Gaza. They could also say something more limited, similar to what they said in January when they said that they have to allow humanitarian aid into the Gaza Strip and that they have to do more to protect civilians. So we'll have to see. But as you say, and to your point, there is no indication that Israel is going to respect this order. The ICJ rulings are legally binding, but they don't have any enforcement power.
Right. Can Israel continue doubling down every time a new pronouncement is made without eventually it causing a problem for their advancement in Rafah and in Gaza?
Well, I think I don't want to be reductionist, but it comes down to the United States and to what extent the United States is going to be willing to tolerate this. Increasingly, the U.S. is frustrated, in part because Israel is making it look bad on the international scene. Both the U.S. and Israel have suffered tremendously in terms of their global standing, but also because Israel seems to be losing the war. There were some U.S. intelligence officials just this week who spoke to Politico, and they said that 70%, according to U.S. intelligence, 70% of Hamas fighters remain alive, intact, and fighting on the ground in Gaza. What's worse for Israel is that those same officials in that same Politico report say that Hamas has been able to recruit, quote, thousands of new members. So it seems to be a wash from the standpoint of manpower for Hamas. Israel has not been able to make a dent in Hamas's fighting power.
And what about the U.S. position, specifically that of President Biden's administration, especially with this backdrop of the Speaker, Mike Johnson, inviting Netanyahu to address Congress?
Right. Well, so far there's no indication that the U.S. is willing to change course meaningfully. And it's perplexing a lot of analysts because it seems to be a kind of political suicide for Joe Biden. He's losing support, or he's already lost significant support among young people, among minorities, and importantly, he's lost support in swing states. And according to 538, Biden is losing in 6 of the 7 swing states. If that result holds, he's going to lose the election in November. And I think most analysts will say it will be due in large part to how he's handled Gaza.
Interesting. Mohamad, thanks for that. Mohamad Elmasry here in the studio. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.